Why do we study science? Why do we study biology? Now you know that. Now you know that biology is the scientific study of life. You learn about the 7 characteristics of living organisms. So all living organisms share all 7 living characteristics. If something that has only 6 characteristics, they are not living organism. And living organism must has all 7 living characteristics. Then we call that a living organism. And you also know the scientific study. What is scientific study? We have scientific method. So theoretically, right now you can officially start to study biology because you can use scientific method to study living organism now. And why do we want to study biology? Why do we want to study science? Why do we want to study science in general? Science has an impact to our daily life. For example, climate changes and biodiversity and habitat loss. Those are highly related. We will cover them later in this semester in the lecture of ecology. Ecology will cover that. What happens nowadays in the America is that bees, yes, the bees, the insect that produce honey, bees, a lot of bees are dying for unknown reason. We don't know why, and it makes an impact to our agriculture. The reason is that a lot of farmers rely bees to transfer pollen so that their harvest can so that the harvest they can collect harvest, they can produce fruit. If bees are dying and a lot of bees colony are actually dying, then no one will have to transfer pollen. Then the yield of the produce would decrease drastically, and it will affect human survival ultimately. And fortunately, scientists finally figure out what happened. It turns out that um, the pesticide that we are using all the time somehow kill bees. So they, at first they thought that it is some kind of a parasite, some kind of a virus or some kind of bacteria. It turns out it is human being. We are the one who are killing bees by accident. And if bees dies, we will die as well. We will go with them. Because when bees dies, then no one will carry out the pollination. Then we don't get the produce or the harvest or the fruit. Then we don't get enough food to eat. Then human being will also die. So when you see bees, do not kill bees. Okay, do not kill it. Not because you worry that the bee will sting you. No, because bee is important for our survival, for production of food. So do not kill bees next time you see one. And then emerging and re-emerging diseases. This is, I'll give you an example of the very famous one in the news, is the re-emerging of measles. Many of you have heard about the re-emerging of measles. Why? Because parents refuse to vaccinate their children. Okay? How come? Because there's rumors, or I would call it superstitions, saying that okay, vaccination causes autism. Yeah, the Jenny McCarthy. That really that the woman who has no training in science or whatever. So it is unfounded. This superstition is unfounded. Yeah, there's no scientific base on it. Some people say, well, but she read a paper on it. And yeah, after the paper published, the entire scientific world stoned him or grilled that author. And eventually that author has to retract his publication. Yeah. So there's no scientific basis for this claim that vaccination causes autism, and because some parents, they are paranoid about autism, and they refuse to give their children vaccination, so there is a re-emerging of measles that causes even bigger problem. So please make sure that bring your children to receive the vaccination. And then okay, these two technology, these two are highly related. So why do we study science? Why do we learn about scientific method and also characteristic of living organism? We develop technology to help our daily life. For example, you see that, well, this is my cell phone. Well, this is my cell phone. But if you flip your cell phone horizontally, what will happen to the screen? Everyone knows that your screen will follow the movement, the orientation of your cell phone, so that you will see the image on your cell phone always at a vertical up position. And it is because in your cell phone you have something called a gyroscope. A gyroscope can detect the gravitational force. As you know that gravitational force is always pointing downward onto the earth. So what happens is that when you flip the cell phone, the gyroscope can detect that the orientation of the cell phone is being misaligned or become perpendicular to the gravitational force. Because of that, then the gyroscope adjusts the image so that it becomes parallel to the gravitational force again. In this case, we apply what scientists, we apply the result or the data of the scientists that they do experiment into our daily life to improve our living. So that's the so-called challenges or the application of science nowadays. And that's the end of a Thursday lecture. I'll see all of you next week. Oh, by the way, have a nice long weekend of Labor Day.